Were you, or were you not, on a gay cruise?
No, you're 120% dick face.
Everybody that age, they're sperminator.
Yeah.
We don't care about anything else. We're a walking hard on looking for a hole.
That's. I have to say you're right on that one. Oh, my God.
A stiff breeze comes through the room and you return the favor.
Got her in. Oh. Somewhere on the outside of this building, there is a hole where squirrels come in.
Better than a hole where dicks come in.
Yeah, better than that.
Going down the stairs to wash the laundry. What the hell? Shh. Pizza. Stop! Stop it now! I order you to stop! I'm still touching myself.
Yeah!
All young bitches want to do is pop pills, smoke weed, get drunk, lay around, suck dick, eat hot Cheetos, charge they phone, get a sew and weave, twerk, be bisexual, eat McDonald's, wash they pussy in the sink, lie, take selfies, and talk shit through Wi-Fi because they phone never on.
I think washing they pussy in the sink is my favorite part. The Vietnamese trade in dongs. Figuratively and literally, I'm sure.
Oh, my God, that's hilarious.
I did decide to look it up. 500,000 dongs is a good night for Pop's ex.
Like most women, he's an emotional thinker.
Good God.
I mean, that's part of the problem we're having now in our society is we have a bunch of emotional thinkers that want the world to, to fall in line with their emotions. That's not... look, reality doesn't give a shit about emotions.
It's my lived truth. Fuck your lived truth.
No, it's not. It's your perspective.
Kiss my ass.
Literally like, hey, Sergeant Pop, you got to turn your bear suit. I'm like, over my dead body. No. Just give me a statement of charges. Yeah. You're never getting this back. Yeah. You can suck it.
I'm going to wear this with my Russian coat.
you will bury me in this. Hey! Why you gotta fucking be like that, man?
Because I'm an asshole, and I learned from the best. I'm sitting across from him, and I'm pointing at you with all four fingers.
All right, first of all, the Russian jacket is World War II surplus.
I'll send you a picture of it, Sarge.
Yeah, okay. I
got you standing wearing it with holding two giant buckets like you just collected all the chum from behind the dump dumpster at the bar, and you're going to go home and make ice cream out of it.
What's up, savages? Terrence Pop here with another episode that actually is live from the lair. All right, we're going to be covering the assassination of a certain CEO from New York City last week. They've actually caught the guy much quicker than I was anticipating. I was thinking maybe another week or so, but it is what it is. They're very efficient, and when you have all the alphabet agencies supporting you, things happen. Now, What we are seeing here is, in my opinion, before things get really crazy, meaning the two-way rifle range. Now, I hope that doesn't happen. But typically, when that starts to happen, you start to see a bunch of grudges being settled, political assassinations, and what have you. On top of that, we have basically a 7-layer dip of hopelessness and desperation in this country that is going to be really hard to overcome. We're going to be talking about a lot of those tonight, and it's not just the healthcare situation, which, in my opinion, is pretty reprehensible when you have a company that's their job to do medical insurance, and they're quite literally turning 1/3 of everyone away who's giving them money for said insurance. Now, do I condone what happened in New York City? I most certainly do not, but I understand it. And I've said this many times, and history has proved its point over and over again. When you can no longer get justice in the courts, people will seek that justice outside the courts. And we're going to start seeing this more and more because we have an insane amount of people who are homeless, unemployed. There's no jobs coming back into this country because they've all been shipped overseas. We have two, or some would argue, a 3-tier justice system. And we have prosecutors, judges, and lawmakers violating the Constitution at will. And they're hiding behind this immunity. And it's not going to get any better. These problems need to be addressed if we want to get back to even keel. I would love for the United States to go back to what I remember from the mid-'80s, but I think that's going to take a long time if it can be done at all. Now, the CEO that got terminated, the media has put up pictures of his family and picture of his goofy face, and they're trying to get a bunch of sympathy from us. I don't want to sound like a crass individual, but I am having a very hard time having sympathy for this individual. The people I have sympathy for because of this are his 2 children, because they're relatively young. But other than that, I just don't have it in me. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a merciless a-hole here. But I'm just telling you the truth. That's all I can do here on the show. I'm not good at deception. I'm certainly not a good liar. I can bullshit a little bit and embellish from time to time, but that doesn't really fall into that same ballpark. Tonight we got Battle Dwarf on station. We've done our research and we have all kinds of sources to go through today. And it's going to be an interesting show.
Yeah. This is a particularly interesting element that I'm just going to jump right into. This is the shooter's manifesto right here. You're looking at it. What's odd about this to start with? Metadata wise, don't bother reading it just now. What's odd here? Nope, stop looking at the manifesto.
Oh, okay.
Think about the presence of the manifesto. Think about the fact that the manifesto is in front of us at all.
It kind of smells like Patsy.
The other manifestos, like the tranny shooter from, I think it was Ohio, it took months for that to come out. The shooter that tried to assassinate President Trump, That story was buried. This one, we've got so much detail to include his manifesto right away. I mean, this is like almost instantaneous.
Yeah, you're right.
This is almost instantaneous. Now, supposedly, this guy, this is Luigi Mangione. I want to know if he's related to Chuck Mangione, and I want to hear the horn solo feels so good that goes with this. Da, da,
Yeah,
da, da. Yeah, right?
Yeah,
You got to play that over this.
And there are also reports that he had back surgery. He was only 26 years old.
So the back surgery part is really irrelevant. I don't know why that.
no.
Oh, I mean, in the context of the healthcare thing, yes, I get it. Okay.
What I'm saying though is, if you have a major surgery like that young, this person is not going to be around very long.
I would typically agree with something like that. The other thing is, this guy seemed to be one of those intelligent people from the stuff that I've been reading, where he's really, really intelligent to the point where, if, say some agency were to notice him and start taking an interest in him and maybe start grooming him in a direction.
That never happens.
I was about to say that. I mean, I know that never happens. I know I'm just spitballing hypotheticals here. But he seemed to have all of the hallmarks of something like that.
I'm waiting for he was on the FBI radar.
I keep posting the Bart Simpson meme right at the FBI. I tag him in that on Twitter. Say the line, FBI. Say the line, FBI. To the feds. I'll keep this short because I do respect what you do for our country. What? That right there. This sounds like an FBI guy wrote that, because nobody in the country respects the FBI anymore at all. I'll keep this short because I do respect what you do for the country. To save you a lengthy investigation, I state plainly I wasn't working with anyone. Okay. There's another red flag.
My
God.
All right.
This was fairly trivial. Hold on. Some elementary social engineering, basic CAD, and a lot of patience. The spiral notebook, if present, has some straggling notes, to-do lists that illuminate the gist of it. My tech is pretty locked down because I work in engineering, so probably not much info there. I do apologize for any strife of traumas, but it had to be done. Probably strife or traumas, but it had to be done. Frankly, these parasites simply had it coming. A reminder, this is very short, by the way. A reminder, the U.S. has the most #1 expensive healthcare system in the world, yet we rank roughly number 42 in life expectancy. United is the indecipherable largest company in the United States market by market cap, behind only Apple, Google, Walmart. It has grown and grown, but as our life expectancy, this is supposed to be really smart, guy. These are a lot of strange grammatical errors. No, the reality is these indecipherable have simply gotten too powerful, and they continue to abuse our country for immense profit because the American public has allowed them to get away with it. Obviously, the problem is more complex, but I do not have space, and frankly, I do not pretend to be the most qualified person to lay out the full argument. But many have illuminated the corruption and greed, e.g. Rosenthal, Moore. I wonder who Rosenthal and Moore are in this context. Decades ago, and the problems simply remain. It is not an issue of awareness at this point, but clearly power games at play. Evidently, I am the first to face it with such brutal honesty. This thing screams red flags to me.
It's kind of patsy-ish. Just saying.
I do respect what you do for our country, as he addresses the feds. I state plainly that I wasn't working with anyone. Some elementary social engineering. There's just a lot of
his electronic devices are locked down, so it's not like they're going to be able to crack them. And
right.
He's been talking to. Yeah, because
this just
the shooter. It's rumored that the shooter who shot Trump had offshore accounts. I don't know if that's true or not, but
I remember those rumors. Yeah.
But all I got to say is this. All right. So they found a weapon on him that was printed.
Okay.
All right. So typically, if you print up the pistol lower receiver, you can buy the guts on the internet and the barrel, and you don't need a FFL or anything like that. You just put it together. He also had a suppressor. I don't know if that was one of those solvent trap things or an actual suppressor, but when I saw the malfunctions take place when he was engaging, his target, and the weapon was not working correctly, I was like, there's no way that's a professional or a former soldier, because those guys are not going to show up on the objective with weapons that are not functioning at 100%, and a bare minimum test fired. So
I in retrospect, after I watched the video a couple of times, the first thing I wondered was, and I don't know anywhere near as much about weapons as you do, obviously, but to me it looked like the recoil wasn't, the suppressor was overcoming the recoil.
it was not tuned. Typically, if you get a suppressor for a pistol, you either have to figure out, get the proper one for the model of pistol you have that's already been so-called tested. And you might actually have to test, 6, 7, 8, even up to a dozen different ammunitions till you find the one that cycles properly. Because suppressors make everything way more finicky.
I know zero about I've seen them, and I've seen them fired, and the only reason I knew about the overcoming the recoil thingy is one of the guys who had a suppressed weapon mentioned it.
Yeah. And
that's my level of awareness.
Apparently the CEO's funeral was today, so he's now in his horizontal rot slot.
Yeah.
He's now dirt compliant, I guess we can say. Now, this whole healthcare thing, in my opinion, when Obama came into office and he pushed Obamacare through, he created a monster, because you basically had to force everyone into a healthcare plan, and also it was subsidized by the government. And we all know whenever the government gets involved, it never works out well unless it's war. And quite frankly, we're not really good at that either, at least finishing it and winning. But it is what it is.
We haven't been allowed to finish a war since Korea.
Yep.
They figured out that war is profitable, essentially, is what's going on. Now, it's a
different show.
It is a different show. That is a different show. You're right. As far as this healthcare thing goes, when we were young, you go to a doctor and it was like $20.
Yeah.
$10 maybe. $10, $20 for whatever you needed. Now it's like thousands. It's the inflation that you see. The branch of law, the practice area that I work in at the moment is personal injury. And I see day after day all of these healthcare providers, like a $34 wrist brace. They'll charge you $1,800 for that.
Wow.
And they're billing the insurance company. They're not billing the individuals. And one of the biggest questions I see in the discovery between the defense and the plaintiff is the defense is always the insurance company will ask, what do you charge a normal person who doesn't have insurance for this item? And they charge the same. They'll screw you anyway.
Well, back when I used to compete, I had to go to the emergency room once to get stitches, and that was like $95.
I was about to ask you.
Yeah, and that was about $800
for stitches.
For stitches, and that was in '95. And I can imagine it's probably $3,200 today. And I got like 6 stitches, a tetanus shot, Novocaine, and a harsh talking to.
I'll bet you could do those same stitches in the jungle with mint dental floss without any problem.
Actually, after I had to pay that bill, I started sewing myself up because it was just economically not viable.
I was hoping you'd tell the mint stitches story.
Oh,
that's another time. That's another time. but there's a mid stitches story out there to be had. Just so you know.
Yeah, it was that
These
was a crazy story.
these healthcare providers, they really do rape the crap out of people, and they're all consolidated under these huge conglomerations now. United Healthcare, for example, is the health insurance unit of United Health Group, an international health insurance company based out of Minnesota. The parent company was founded in 1997. United Healthcare provides employer and individual health insurance, Medicaid coverage, and programs to underserved Americans, according to the company's website. United Healthcare has served more than 52 million customers per a 2023 annual report, and the company has worked with 1.7 million physicians and care professionals, in addition to more than 7,000 hospitals. Now, here's one of the things about these huge healthcare groups. They drive the regulations that are being passed in federal government and in state governments as well in some cases. What this does is create regulations that family doctors, like we used to have when we were kids, you go to a family doctor and he's in there actually with a cigarette in his face, taking your, heart rate and all of that shit. That used to be a thing. That genuinely used to be a thing. You'd walk into a doctor's office, you'd be standing there with a cigarette. All of those family care doctors get crushed to death by regulations, just like in the food industry, where all the mom and pop farms are going under because they can't compete with big ag. The exact same thing is going on in the healthcare industry. So this is definitely causing stress for some people. There's no question that the behavior of these healthcare organizations is causing people to be pissed off, because if your insurance stops covering something, now you're stuck with like a $300,000 or $400,000 bill. Like my brother-in-law, who is 78 years old, and he fell off the roof working on his house, took a serious head injury, and had to be in the hospital for weeks. Part of that in a chemically induced coma, and his insurance company about a week and a half ago went, "Hey, we're just not going to pay anymore."
Wow.
And now he and my sister, who bought a house in Coconut Grove, it's an exclusive neighborhood in Miami, in 1985. They bought it, and it was like a $45,000 house.
Yeah.
So they bought within their means. Well, over time, Coconut Grove became an exclusive Miami neighborhood. Now their house is worth millions, and they have to sell. And they've lived there their whole lives. Since the day they were married, they've lived in this home. Now they have to sell it because of the insurance companies. They don't have there's no other way for them to pay these bills.
Yeah.
They lose everything.
Yeah, absolutely correct. And here's another thing. And this is a hypothetical situation. Typically, I don't do these because I lost the keys to hypothetical land when I walked across the stage for my Green Beret. But let's say you're a 47-year-old man and you've been diagnosed with cancer. When they found it, it was like stage 4. And you got a surgery and you started chemo. And you've done 4 or 5 rounds of chemo, and you're somewhere around stage 2, stage 1, and there's just a few more to go, and maybe you can take it into remission. You go in for your next, chemo, and all of a sudden they tell you, oh, your insurance company called and they're not going to cover it. That insurance company just signed your death warrant.
Yes.
Because by the time you go to court and get in front of a judge, and the judge says, what the hell's going on here? Finish his chemo. More than likely, it's going to come back with a vengeance. And a lot of times,
these things too.
And a lot of times, that same chemo will not be effective the second time. Now, there's a lot of people out there who might feel a certain way about that. And those men are extremely dangerous because they have absolutely nothing left to lose.
Yeah.
And they're probably really pissed off and they want to get at least a couple ounces of payback before they cash it in and go to the lobby.
Yep.
Now,
Yeah, that's
multiply
absolutely
that
true.
by millions of people.
No, that's absolutely right. One of the things that drives this too is a lot of the public records that are available for these insurance companies. And you're better at business and math than I am. This is something we know, but I understand the principles here. A company might be worth $610.5 million, but that's often tied up, and correct me if I'm wrong here, in assets, land, contracts, and other instruments. It's not, they don't just have $610 million in cash stacked in a room in the back.
No, they don't.
Can you sum that up better than I did?
Well, typically, if you have like a company that's worth, let's say, $500 million, you got inventory, and you've got inventory that's waiting to come in, and then you have a warehouse where your inventory is at. On top of that, you're going to have to, more than likely, there's going to be a certain amount of debt, and you're going to need to service that debt from the profits. Now, typically, whenever like you hear like a company's worth $600 million, that value that they're coming up with is based on the gross receipts that they get per year. And then you add in all of the other, land, buildings, and other tangible, real assets. And that doesn't even include like intellectual property rights or other various patents or rights and copyrights and what have you, because those can also lead to the value of companies. And there's been plenty of companies out there who were valued in the hundreds of millions, and all of a sudden their patent ran out, and within a year they're worth almost nothing. So it's very subjective scale. It slides easily. So that's pretty much
something like that. This is obviously a separate rabbit hole of its own, but didn't something like that take down the .net boom or the .com boom?
Yeah. A lot of those companies were radically overvalued, and at the end of the day, there was no real assets. And when competition popped up, because setting up a website is easy, they just fell like dominoes.
Yeah, they thought it was arcane knowledge in the beginning, and then suddenly they realized that it was not.
No.
And I remember the evolution of a lot of that stuff. As far as these big health corps go, it is not quite what it seems. The money being made is, and while they make a lot of money pulling in their fees for insurance and all of that, the providers, the doctors that have figured out that they can feed off of the insurance companies and blow charges through the roof, they're the ones that are causing the most damage to the actual individual. Because at the end of the day, that's the bill you have to pay. You're not paying this health insurance company that $500,000. You're paying the hospital that is charging you $180 for an aspirin and $300 for a Band-Aid, which is obviously gross gouging. And it's completely, off the chain with some of the stuff that I see. It's crazy. Now, that being said, the reason that personal injury law exists, and everybody calls it ambulance chasers and makes fun of it, and it's pretty maligned as a practice area. But without them, there would be no buffer between these insurance companies and these doctors. And guess how much money you would get?
Yep.
Big goose eggs. You would never ever get your bills paid. You'd be stuck with those bills for the rest of your life, and they would just crush you. Those personal injury lawyers are literally the only thing saving your ass when it comes to those doctor bills, because they get the insurance companies, they force them to pay.
Well, my thing is I've been reading into United Health their scam they have going on. Now, not only are they a healthcare insurance company, but they also have hospitals. They've been purchasing doctors' practices, the billers. They have everything. So, I mean, if that isn't a monopoly, I don't know what to tell you.
You are absolutely correct. It is a monopoly.
Yeah, that is just bullshit. And now, listen, I've been hearing the left like, well, we need to have universal health care. All right, let's just be honest. Universal health care is not going to be any better. And maybe it'll be okay in the beginning, but it always falls apart. Towards the end of the Soviet Union,
right?
There were people dying on 6-year waiting lists for procedures.
That's already happening in Canada right now.
Yeah,
exactly. That is happening in Canada right now. We're just sort of at the beginning of that slide. Now, let's push it past this the healthcare thing here and get to Brian Thompson, the CEO who got himself whacked. CEO of United Healthcare was shot to death on Wednesday. He was 50. He was named the CEO of United Healthcare, United Health Group's insurance arm, in April of 2021. So he's been there for a couple of years. He's not new to the game here.
Nope.
He first joined United Health Group in 2004 and previously served as, that's kind of young, previously served as CEO of the company's government programs, including Medicare and retiree coverage. Aha. Guess who knows a whole lot about where the federal money is?
Yep.
And community and state programs providing Medicaid and other types of coverage to millions of individuals. That, for me, is a red flag for Mr. Thompson here. In most recent role as CEO of United Healthcare, is responsible for leading growth across the company's global employer, individual specialty, and government benefits businesses, according to a 2021 company statement. Brian's experience, relationships, and values made him especially well suited to help United Healthcare improve how healthcare works for consumers, physicians, blah, 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 blah.
Stop right there. Improve by denying 1/3 of the claims.
Yes.
1/3. And all right, that is like one layer of the 7-layer dip of hopelessness and desperation, this whole medical field, or medical insurance, the craziness we have going on. Now, in their defense, I will simply say this. The United States of today, compared to the United States when I was in high school. When I was in high school, there was maybe 4 uber fatties.
Yes, it was very rare.
4.
Yep.
And I mean,
very rare.
When I say uber fatties, I'm talking, the bowling ballitis fatties. Now we have a majority of our population is obese. And when you look on the CDC website, obesity is the leading cause of death across all forms of illnesses.
Our food supply now is geared to make people obese.
Correct. And when you have that many unhealthy people in the general pool, prices are going to have to go up because you have to cover those individuals. For instance, 35-year-old guy, he's not overweight, jogs 2 or 3 times a week, lifts weights, eats a pretty decent diet. When you look at him, he's not really much of a risk at that point in his life. But now we have people who have type 1 and type 2 diabetes by the time they're 35, heart problems, everything that goes along with being overweight.
I know kids. I'm talking 11, 12, 13 years old who have diabetes now.
Yeah.
Dude, there was literally no such thing when we were kids.
Occasionally there'd be like that one guy or one kid who was a type.
Okay, that one guy.
That
Yeah.
way.
Okay, that one guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But all that stuff is expensive, especially when they're charging people what $300 to $600 per vial for insulin.
Yeah.
Like you can get insulin in India for like $15.
That's
I
crazy.
mean, come on now. Not only are we have a insane amount of people who are radically unhealthy,
Yeah.
but that is blatant price gouging. And the Democrats and the Republicans are both equally as guilty in this.
Oh
for
yeah,
allowing it
absolutely
to
true.
happen.
Absolutely true.
Like, and that these mega corporations are basically greasing the skids up at DC to make all of this possible.
So when I go through case files, I get all of your medical records. I get to see everything you've done medically for as far back as sometimes 20 years in some cases. Usually it's between 5 and 10. And the one thing that I see consistently is the medical community is not trying to heal anybody at all. What they want is repeat customers. All I see is prescriptions for this, prescriptions for that, recommendations that you take these drugs, recommendations that you take those drugs. They'll send you to physical therapy for obvious stuff like a wrecked ankle or a sprained wrist or something like that. But on top of that, they're prescribing you pain meds and steroids and this and
Head
that.
meds. Head meds. Typically, they put you on head meds. They want you to stay on that for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah, that's a whole separate story entirely. Wifey can actually speak to that extensively. We need to have her on the show one night and talk about that industry. Seriously, she knows it from top to bottom, and she has forgotten more about drugs and interactions than any 10 people I know. It's a separate show.
But TBI,
Mhm.
I'm literally at Langstuhl in Germany, and they wrote me a script for Paxil and then Wellbutrin, and they're like, you're going to probably have to take these for the rest of your life.
They did that to me at the VA. I came home, looked at them, and threw them in the garbage.
Well, here's the thing, though, is I was in an actual Army hospital, and when I got to Walter Reed, again, I talked to the head doctor or the neurologist, and he said the same thing. And I told him, I will take these medications for 1 year. He's like, no, you're going to have to be on these the rest of your life. And I'm like, okay, 1 year it is. And true to my word, 13 months later, I started weaning off of that shit, and I quit taking it. Because it didn't, in my opinion, it just dulled stuff. It didn't make me feel any better. And then once I did come off of it, all of the stuff that it was supposedly protecting you from comes crashing down upon you. So imagine if you're on the head for 20 years.
Yep. I know. That's another story entirely, but I actually know what you're talking about in great detail on a very personal level there. When I got head meds from the VA, that's when I was living at your place the first time over in Berkeley, and I flushed those drugs down your toilet.
Okay.
Yeah, I got home and I looked at them and I read the prescriptions and everything, and they said pretty much the same thing in the notes: is you're probably going to be on these
forever.
And I looked at them and I'm like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, and then when you research the actual head meds, you go down the side effects. Suicidal inclination is always
suicidal ideations.
Yes. Ideations, yeah.
Suicidal ideations. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. We have strayed a little off base here.
I understand that.
But that's okay. This is turning into a healthcare show with an assassination cameo. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Sometimes these things happen.
But what we're trying to do here is explain to you the history, going back to the 80s, and how it's got out
Yes.
of hand up until current year 2024.
Yeah. Yeah. This is let's step over to the actual kid who did this, and let's see what we have here. What we know about Luigi Mangione. I keep wanting the Chuck Mangione horn solo in here. I just do. Suspect charge in the U. Okay, first of all, look at the facial structure of this kid and how similar it is to a lot of the other like school shooters and stuff. You've got the close set eyes, the like caveman eyebrows, the jawline that looks like it's too small for the overall head.
Well,
He
he is Italian.
He is Italian. No, I get that, but the features are very similar to a lot of the other shooters.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying. That is an objective statement. It is not meant to carry specific meaning. Do not interpret that as, and it means these things here. I'm just saying he's similar in appearance to quite a few of the other shooters. Before Mangione was officially identified as a suspect, New York Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch announced at a news conference Monday afternoon that he was believed to be a person of interest in the shooting. Officers in Altoona arrested Mangione on unrelated charges at a McDonald's there after a customer alerted an employee who called the police, officials said. A Pennsylvania resident saw something early this morning at a McDonald's and said something to our local police, praising the resident as a hero, says Governor Josh Shapiro. The officers questioned Mangione, who was acting suspiciously. According to court documents, the Altoona officers found Mangione sitting at a table in the back of the McDonald's wearing a blue medical mask and looking at a laptop with a backpack on the floor near the table. Now, they said they found the backpack full of Monopoly money some days ago before all of this. So I haven't been able to find the tie-in there, but it does raise questions. When the officers asked him to pull his mask down, they recognized him from photos released to the media. My partner and I recognized him immediately, told reporters, blah, blah, blah. Just from what we saw in the media with photos, videos, we didn't even think twice about it. We knew that this was our guy. This all happened so quickly, and I know sometimes shit happens. Okay, if anybody knows that shit happens, it's guys like you and me. But all of this seems really, really convenient, all the way down to the manifesto that we had a look at.
Yep, but you got to understand, though, is once I saw that picture when he pulled his mask down and he was flirting with the Starbucks chick.
Right.
I knew he was going to get hit because the NSA has the best facial recognition on the planet. And any public camera can easily be piped into that, and it probably already is.
So Enemy of the State is just a movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's not NSA. That's all I can say there.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
That stuff, the cameras, is not NSA.
Yeah, it's Alphabet Agency out
It
there.
is Alphabet. It is not NSA. Enemy of the State was just a movie. We thought it was very funny. So here's the thing, though. Here's this kid, and we just talked about that CEO, right? Now, this guy pops up, and he's obviously a rank amateur. You described the printed weapon and how it was misfiring and how he clearly didn't know how to use his weapon properly. And he's standing there with the backpack, and then he's caught in a McDonald's, and his manifesto comes out right away. And then this United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was facing DOJ probe for insider trading when he was killed in targeted New York City shooting. There were people saying he wasn't going to testify for the FBI, and it's mostly the big media was saying, "Oh no, he wasn't testifying. He wasn't testifying. No, he wasn't. He was being investigated." Here's my theory. He was being investigated by DOJ as one of several executives at the company under investigation by Department of Justice when he was gunned down. Thompson exercised stock options and sold shares worth $15.1 million on February 16th, less than 2 weeks before news of the federal antitrust probe. He would have knowledge like that. The stock price dropped sharply after the revelation the DOJ was investigating. So my guess is, we know Nancy Pelosi has what, like an 80% success rate in her trading?
64%.
It's freakishly
unheard of. Unheard of.
Right. This is the kind of guy that would be giving her that kind of information.
Yep. Now go back to this picture real quick.
Let's go back there. Helps if I pull up this part here.
See, now look at between the eyebrows. Do you see any hair there?
Nope.
All right. If you go back to his mugshot, he's got like a unibrow.
Boop. Where'd he go? That's good enough. We can use that one right there.
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
And it could be the camera's quality is different. I don't know.
Look at, there is distinctly hair there between his eyes.
Yep.
And then you come over here, you look at this photo here and say share this tab. And it's not the same. Look at the bridge of the nose. And the distance between the eyes and where the eyebrows terminate just above the actual eyeball, if you will.
It's just kind of suspicious.
It's not matching up very well at all.
I don't have no explanation. I don't have an explanation
either. So that CEO would be the type of guy who would feed information to a high power politician so that politician could trade in the 60% bracket. We agree on that point there?
Yep.
Okay, so he gets nailed, and he's getting investigated by the DOJ, and all of his stuff is coming out, and he's got records out there. And some high up the food chain politician or other entity, and there are more than just CEOs out there. There are rich people who are just rich, who make deals like this, says, well, crap, he's got my information. So let me pick up the phone. Hi, Hillary. So that housekeeping service that you were using a couple of years back, do you still have that phone number? Yeah. I'd like to order some housekeeping.
Yep.
And so housekeeping shows up, right? And this CEO apparently had a pattern, because this kid found him way too easy.
Well, no, hang on.
Somebody was looking at a pattern.
No, hang on.
You stalked people.
Yeah,
I helped you stalk people. It's not that easy.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
I'm a former, Green Beret. I know these things, and I've been trained in this shit.
Yeah.
If I get your name, and it'll just take me a little while. I can run your name down, figure out what state you're in. Once I have your name, the state you're in, then I'll find out the city you're in. Once I have that, I would probably know everything there is to know about you within 72 hours. And if I really felt a certain way, I would go surveil you. And I'd probably do it for 5 to 10 days. Most people, they all have patterns, including myself. And it could be, he goes by his dry cleaner, once every 10 days, or he goes to a certain CVS to get prescriptions filled. He's got 2 young kids, and there might be, he might have to leave the house from time to time to get items for said young kids, which happens all the time. What I'm trying to say here is, you get his information, you get his pattern. Once you have his pattern, you can develop the X. And once he's on the X, you can execute your plans. I talk about this in my novels. That's all my main character does, is surveillance, stalk, execute missions, and then extract over and over again. So it's not that hard. And yes, I believe there were mentions on the website of where he would be at certain times, which in my opinion is not the best practice. But a publicly traded company has to list all of the people on the board and who hold seats in said publicly traded company.
Okay.
You know, and listen, I'm not a rocket scientist, but you know, there's a lot of, if a person feels a certain way, it is quite, I wouldn't say easy, but it is doable to set that all up.
Okay. So now let's roll this back a little bit. We've established that both you and I have surveillance capability, surveillance training. We know how to do this, and we know that it's going to take us a little bit of time to get all this stuff done. Now, what are you doing?
I have that cold thing and my eyes are a little itchy, so I put in some eye drops.
Okay. All right. I've just never seen you use lube on camera before.
Boom! All right.
You walked right into that one.
I did.
You walked right into that one.
Totally.
So here's the thing, okay? Here is our friend Luigi Mangione. He's 26 years old. He's a little adventuresome. We've seen him. He's in shape. He likes to do athletic stuff. Okay, great. According to his LinkedIn account, Mangione worked as a data engineer at a car buying website. But a company spokesperson told CBS News Mangione has worked there since 2023. That's only a lapse of a year. Mangione graduated from University of Pennsylvania, not a particularly illustrious university, but it's okay. Penn spokesperson confirmed to CBS News he received a Master's of Science in Engineering with a major in Computer and Information Sciences and a Bachelor of Science in Engineering, majoring in Computer Science with a minor in Mathematics. What there screams to you, I know how to stalk people.
Yeah, got a point. But here's the thing, though.
Because he was right on the X, man.
Yeah.
He walked out of nowhere up behind this guy and proceeded to shoot him with a pistol that he clearly didn't know how to use.
Well, it was not. Well, first of all, pistol's not that hard to use, but it was. I would say
that makes it worse then.
By the jams and everything, it's
yeah.
He
didn't know what he was doing with that particular weapon.
He did not. He did not test it properly, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but you got to understand though, all of this information you can find it online.
I understand that. However, you and I both know that to properly stalk a target takes some training, and you need to know at least a little bit of what you were doing. It strikes me odd that a 26-year-old managed to step out of the street, abracadabra, at the exact moment that that guy was walking out of that exact building and put rounds on target.
And he was in the city for 10 days prior to this, so he could have met with people that could have fed him said information.
Yeah. I'm just talking about what we see available for his personality and background and history versus stepping out of the shadows onto a target just like that and popping him and disappearing.
Yeah, I mean, he got on the bike. It just happened to be there. I mean,
yes. So this is my theory. Not tested. I haven't run this to ground or anything like that, but I have mentioned the aforementioned housekeeping service. My theory is this, and I know that this happens because it's a favorite tactic of an organization that we affectionately called Christians in Action when we were overseas.
Okay.
Your house cleaner goes to a city, finds an individual who is likely, based on a series of data points, has a grudge against health insurance companies, has a temper, is known to be angry about these specific things, finds himself a guy who fits these descriptions and says, here's $10,000 and a gun that can't be traced. Right now, he's right over there. Go put rounds in it. Or something to that effect. Maybe not that exact specific scenario, but I think this is a cutout so that there are no ties back to the original individual who wanted this work done.
Well, here's the
And-
thing, though, is when you look at the picture of that CEO,
Mhm.
he does not look like a person that is capable of not rolling over on people when they put the screws to him, because he's got a wife, 2 kids.
Mhm.
You
He has too
know
much to lose.
he's going to start rolling on people the minute they turn up the heat.
He has too much to lose. And that's where I began to get my theory. When I saw that he was being investigated and his family life was put up there the way that it was, I started thinking, well, somebody probably wants this guy dead, because, like we said in the beginning when we started talking about him, he's exactly the guy who would hand Pelosi or somebody like that insider information. And then I got the idea of the cutout puppet being used by housekeeping, because they wouldn't want anything that would tie it back in any way, shape, or form to the original contractor, to the person who called out the contract. I see a mention of MK Ultra over here. I don't think so. Not in this case. It doesn't make sense in this case.
But here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
There was a show I was watching on YouTube, and they're like, well, now it's only going to make the prices go up because these CEOs are going to demand raises so they could afford the private security.
Mm-hmm.
This dude was getting paid like $26 million a year.
Yes.
All right. Now, here's another thing. What are they going to do if this starts happening once, twice, 5
3
10,
times
15,
sorry.
50 times a day in the major cities? They're not going to have the resources to run everyone down as efficiently as they did this guy.
It's a legitimate question, but the fact that they caught this guy so easily tells me that my patsy theory probably has some credence, because they caught him right away, and they started putting out his information right away. And I have to chime in on this one here. And to guess this, why do I hear cat noises in the streaming? Oh, you don't. I have a husky who talks all the time, and sometimes we can't keep him quiet. Anyway, that he was caught so easily with the manifesto and the gun and everything else, there's just something wrong there. There's something clearly wrong there.
So what I'm trying to say is this.
Mhm.
When you have a whole bunch of people out there who are homeless, can't feed themselves because of inflation, or they can't work, can't afford health insurance,
yes,
and what have you, and they remember what the United States used to be like and how it is now, there's a whole bunch of desperation and hopelessness out there. All of these individuals for these mega corporations are not going to be able to stay in their house 365, 24/7, or have armed security all the time. They're going to have to interact in the world in some way, shape, or form.
I agree. I think this could trigger a series of copycat whackers, I guess you would call them.
And guess what? Some of the CEOs probably have the resources to protect themselves effectively. So these people might like, okay, we can't get him. Who's beneath him? Can we get any of those guys? Yes, no. No, who's below them? And they just go down the list until they find the people who are not protected, and they start going after them.
Yep. Or, and this is just hypothetical talk, FBI special agents frickin' frack, sit back down and frickin' operate your donut, okay? I'm just hypothetically talking here. There are enough of us veterans now. There's 20 years of us out there. All it would take is one frickin' really ticked off 0311. And those guys, when they've got some combat years behind them, they're dangerous. Because they don't have an off switch. All it would take is one of those guys, and he's going to get to that CEO, because what he's going to do is chew his way up the ladder. He'll go grab one of your lower guys and beat the snot out of him until he gets the information that he wants. They go get the next guy and the next guy. It's a matter of time before something like that happens at this point, because they won't do anything real to solve any of the real problems. They just keep dumping placebos on it.
Yes, or making excuses.
Yeah. And I'm not suggesting that anybody do this. I am not advocating for violence. I'm saying there are 20 years of serious, hardcore combat vets out there. And I mean, that's thousands, tens of thousands?
Millions. It's probably millions of guys.
One of them's going to snap.
Yeah.
One of them is going to, it's the law of inevitability.
Or here's another one. Say, it's not a 0311. It's somebody from the intel community who knows how to do tradecraft. And then he basically, recruits a whole bunch of individuals who feel a certain way and have nothing left to lose. You start putting them together in cells. Then before you know it, you have a whole network.
Yeah. Now, the hard part there is today's society, everybody yaks online. That level of OPSEC would be extremely hard. Very, very hard to maintain. My money would be on a Frank Castle type rather than a Batman or the Fight Club model, where Tyler Durden puts the Fight Club together and takes down whole buildings.
I'm just saying with, you have...
I agree with you. The possibility is definitely there. I'm just saying one is a little more likely than the other.
Correct. But it's really not that difficult. I mean, if you know what you're doing. And you can easily find... I'm not going to cover it here on the show because I don't want to pre-program anyone.
Right. I'm trying to be general. I'm trying to keep it...
Yeah, if you wanted that information, you could easily find it. I'm just saying, it's out there.
Yeah.
And
but
if you can, for instance, with the whole vax craziness, why is it, do you think, that they are holding back the information in regards to the side effects for the jab?
Because people will come after them. One of my best friends died because of that damn thing.
Yeah, and listen, we have a government that gave immunity to these huge corporations that made this garbage they put in the jab.
Yep.
A lot of people have already died.
Yes.
All right. When this gets really bad, which is probably going to get worse, especially with the cancer rates that I've been seeing in the statistics.
That they're burying and totally not covering it all. This is a feature, not a bug.
Correct. And people are going to start feeling a certain way. Like if your government is willing to exterminate you, well...
Yeah.
And then you're going to see the tradecraft and the groups, and then you're going to have the VPN, the Telegraph, and the Signal apps. And then on top of that, you have a book code. Good luck cracking that, especially if they have any kind of discipline and they maintain OBSEC.
Yeah. I can tell you firsthand that can be done.
Yes. And listen, hatred. When you truly hate somebody and you want to see them in the dirt, very few things will persuade you against taking said actions, especially if it's fueled. That hatred is fueled by the death of a close loved one, like a child.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Now, listen. This is just, I'm just being precautionary here. I don't want to see this shit happen at all. But as a realist who's had to, deal with some of this shit in the real world, this is inside the realm of possibility here.
Yes, absolutely is. Absolutely is. All of this that we're talking about right now also leads me to believe that this kid is a patsy of some kind. If somebody serious had gone after this guy, I believe it would have gone down differently. How differently? I don't know. I don't know this guy. I don't know his patterns, but I don't think they would have done him on a street like that.
No. You can, driving from point A to point B.
Yeah. This street hit like this with the guy walking out onto the street and getting popped like this. That's freaking amateur hour. That's 70s gangster movie stuff.
Correct. And he had a self-printed pistol, supposedly.
Mhm.
If he had serious hardware, you could really do some serious damage in virtually any setting.
Yeah.
And you can
Absolutely.
train yourself. There's videos on YouTube. You can figure out, you can get the material, you do your research. Because if you are motivated by hatred, you can figure shit out.
Not to put too fine a point on it, Brain Boy here, with his degrees in mathematics and programming and all these other things, chooses a hoodie, a backpack, and a printed pistol, right?
Uh-huh.
What's the number one weapon on the battlefield right now in the Ukraine thing?
The drone.
Why didn't he use a drone? There's years of drone porn
Yes.
right now, and this kid was tech oriented.
Oh, wow, I didn't even think of that. You are
Mhm.
absolutely correct. Holy smoking Joe Frazier.
Why did he go there himself with a pistol when he was perfectly capable of bringing on the drone porn?
All right, stand by. I'm going to do my announcement.
Go.
All right, everybody out there in YouTube, Rumble, Video Land. This channel has been radically demonetized to the point of absurdity. And I don't think you're going to run into too many other podcasts that are going to get into the weeds in some of these subjects in the way we do. We'll tell you the truth. We don't deceive you. And we're willing to say things that other people will not say or are afraid to say. But we're paying for it in a horrible kick in the nuts financially. Every little bit you send us helps us keep this whole thing rolling forward. Okay? So please help us out. Keep this thing going. Every little bit helps. Thank you in advance. All right. Sorry.
No, that's fine. While you were doing that, I happened to have my eye over on the Rebel chat. I saw somebody say that I was overthinking this. It's not easy to kill somebody if you've never done it before and you're just Joe Civilian. It's not easy to walk up and just blat somebody. Okay, that's movie, that's Hollywood bullshit. That's why I suggested the drone thing. It was more in the kid's wheelhouse.
Yes.
I'm only wondering on a point. I'm not saying he must have done it that way. He shouldn't have. Using the gun proves something. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm questioning what happened there.
Yeah. We are in hypothetical land.
Yes, correct.
And we're talking about, yes, this is hypothetical land, but everything we're talking about is in the realm of possibility.
Yes, we're debating things. Well, discussing, philosophizing.
Philosophizing, I like that.
We're talking about shit.
Well, my thing
is, speaking of talking about shit,
here we go.
Let's watch this. This should come through. This is Luigi Mangione losing his shit at the police station as they bring him in. We hope.
We hope.
Here we go.
Down.
Oh my God! That's completely out of touch, and an insult to the intelligence of the American people and the lived experience.
Huh.
Okay, so the first thing I want to note there is, do you know anybody who is autistic or somewhat
on
mentally
the
off? Yeah.
All right, now hang on. Who was the guy who shot Kennedy?
Which Kennedy?
The JFK got his hair cut.
Oswald.
I remember them pulling him out of the
theory.
car and him yelling he's a patsy or yelling some other shit, and they did the same thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep, you're exactly correct. The cadence of his voice, and just for giggles, I'll rewind it. I want you to listen to the cadence of his voice. That's the important bit here.
Down.
Oh my God! That's completely out of touch, and an insult to the intelligence of the American people and the lived experience.
Did you catch that? You hear what I'm talking about?
A little bit, yeah.
He sounds like he's somewhere on the spectrum.
Yep.
Second point, this kid just pulled off a high-profile whack in a public street, and it's the biggest news story in America. I'm just going to we don't have to watch the video again. You just need to see it. Come here. And I'll put it on the screen just a second.
Uh-huh.
What's missing? Look at him. What's missing?
I don't know.
Everybody else they've publicly perp walked into a station like this has been wearing a vest. You can tell by the way that orange jumper fits that he is not wearing a vest.
100%. Wow, I didn't even notice that. That's a good one.
Yep.
Yeah, you are correct. But they did pull him up like literally to the back door.
No, I get that. I'm just saying, and I'm just noticing a point. I'm not saying it means this or it means that, but it is conspicuous that he is not wearing a vest as he's coming out of the vehicle, already obviously having been processed because he's wearing the orange jumper. He's already been printed and probed and had the finger stuck up his butt in the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
And they're getting him out of the car, and he doesn't have the vest on. I find that to be interesting. So I think that this kid is probably not like impeded in any way, but the cadence of his voice indicates to me that he is probably easily persuaded and pointed in a direction pretty easily. Hey, think about this thing here. Do these things because it makes a lot of sense. And he just kind of goes. You can program him, if you will.
Yeah.
He's programmable. There's what I'm looking for. He's programmable.
Or influenceable.
Yeah.
It's just I'm just telling you that we have the healthcare thing, and we also mentioned the COVID-19 thing.
Yes.
Okay. Now, one of my other subjects, which also leads to the 7-layer dip of hopelessness, is the way men are treated in divorce court. Did you know on average, 75% of the people on the ground who are homeless are men?
Yes.
And I would argue to say at least 30 to 40% of those guys are there because they got divorced and they don't have the means to pay the support, or they have warrants for their arrest. I talked to a lot of guys when I was homeless myself, even though I had the luxury of living in my car. A lot of them were in that boat. Now add that on top of the pissed off people over the COVID vax, and now we have the pissed off people over the healthcare problem. It is starting to stack up like a pyramid.
Yeah.
This is not a good thing. There are some deep problems going on that our government better get off their ass and start trying to rectify, because at some point, when you look at the examples of history, there will be a mob at the end of this. And that is not a good thing.
Or a platoon.
Oh, yeah, or a platoon.
And now you've got yourself a real problem. Look at the bonus army from World War I. If that bonus for the bonus army, first of all, at the end of World War I, a bunch of soldiers were promised benefits after the war, none of which materialized. A large number of veterans marched on Washington, D.C., but they were able to talk them down. Congress was able to talk them down and promised them stuff, sent them all home, and then reneged again.
Well, yeah,
but the bonus army never reformed.
And MacArthur actually went out there and killed a bunch of those guys in Central Park.
I did not know that.
Or by it was a park either by DC or Central Park.
We should do one on the bonus army.
Yeah, we
We
should.
should do a show on veteran uprisings, if you will.
That's why I have
Battle
zero
of Athens.
respect for MacArthur. Fuck that guy. Holy shit.
Well,
Yeah, we
I-
can
I-
easily do that in the bonus army and what have you. It's more of a history kind of thing, but
okay.
it is what
Do
it
a
is.
history episode.
Yeah. But I
Do
don't
a
know.
history
Man.
episode. I was talking to the fellow up in Grayling, whose name I can't say right now. Brandon. I was talking to Brandon earlier today, and he suggested maybe we should get some of the wives of some of the guys that have remarried, who have seen what we have gone through, and see it from their perspective, and let them talk about what we've been through.
Yeah.
Because there are those of us who successfully remarried. I'm 12, 13 years now. We're going on 13 years right now. And same thing for Brandon. And these women that have put up with us for this would be have a really, really interesting point of view for one. It's worth a thought. It's worth a thought. I'll write that down somewhere.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on 13 years with your live-in penis massager.
Hey now.
Hey now, hey.
I can do that all by myself. There's the button pushing monkey.
What's happening, gentlemen?
Speaking of the penis massager.
Hey.
Yeah, and after the show, we're going to have a quick rundown in regards to what happened today, and we're going to try to put something together to keep it from happening again.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a goat screw this evening.
Yes, we did. And I'm just as guilty because I wasn't paying attention either.
It just fell apart.
Yeah.
And we managed to pull it back together. We put a pretty good show together tonight. The first part of it, we really pounded on healthcare. But we've been going into the actual murder here. I want to bring up this tab here. United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson shot and killed in New York City. Police say it was a targeted attack. Thompson was shot and killed in what appears to be a targeted attack Wednesday morning outside the Hilton Hotel, according to New York City police. Shot once in the back and once in.
Hey, you lost sound.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Right.
I'm right here.
Shot in the back, and then wasn't he shot several times in the back, and then once in the calf?
In the calf. This is from 5 days ago, so it was like right after the incident. It's all hands on deck as New York police hunts for this killer, and you can see here he's got the bicycle that he got, and then Pop, I want to ask you. You're our resident shooterizer. What do you see in the picture of the kid with the gun here?
Well,
one, I notice he's leaning back. It's one of the first things I noticed.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, he wasn't that far. He was like 7 steps away. Anyone can make that shot. When I watched the actual video, he was very smooth. There wasn't a lot of herky-jerkiness. The only thing that I had a problem with was the excessive jamming of the weapon. And the jamming told me that that wasn't a veteran and it wasn't a professional.
Because we trained for that. Even I barely used a weapon. Yeah, I barely used a weapon, and it's still to this day a second nature to me. I'll clear a jam without even thinking about it.
Yeah. He did, and this kid made some really stupid mistakes, in my opinion.
Yes. Yeah. Very much.
Yeah. He should have had a secondary, mask underneath, what he had, or at least put a big hillbilly beard on or something. And, not having a secondary or alternate disguise or persona. I mean, that got him right there. He left litter on the objective, which you never do. Okay. And I don't know if that was actually his backpack or not. If it was, he royally goat screwed himself right there. Because if he had a secondary disguise on. He didn't leave back like the water bottle with his DNA on it, and he didn't show his face. They would have a real hard time actually catching this guy.
I agree. This is the actual piece on him.
Okay.
Suspect in the fatal shooting of the healthcare executive in New York apparently lived a charmed life. The grandson of a wealthy real estate developer, valedictorian of his elite Baltimore prep school. So this is a little rich kid doing this here. Friends at an exclusive co-living space at the edge of touristy Waikiki. That's expensive. Okay, anywhere in Hawaii is expensive, but Waikiki as a touristy area is really expensive. Mangione once lived widely considered him a great guy. And pictures on his social media accounts showed a fit, smiling, handsome young man on beaches and at parties. Now investigators are working to piece together why Mangione might have diverged from this path to make the violent and radical decision to gun down UHC Brian Thompson in a brazen attack on a Manhattan street. The killing sparked widespread discussions about corporate greed, unfairness in the medical insurance industry, and even inspired folk hero sentiment toward his killer. The problem, again, that I have is highlighted here in this story. He's a rich kid, and whacking somebody out of the blue like this without a track record of he killed cats when he was 10 years old feels wrong. Something feels off here. A rich kid from a life of privilege doesn't suddenly work up the nerve to just walk up to somebody, and you said it yourself. He looked smooth in the video when he did the shooting, right?
Oh, yeah.
A rich kid doesn't. That's a level of cold-bloodedness. That's a level of cold-bloodedness to me.
You're absolutely correct. But a man motivated by enough hatred could easily pull that off. But he's a rich
There's the problem. I don't see the hatred,
I don't see where the hatred came from.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's like if this healthcare CEO's company was responsible for pulling a Wayne family murder in like that created Batman, like killed Bruce Wayne's parents.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now I see this kid getting angry. Where is this level of anger coming from? Because to casually walk up and smoothly gun somebody down requires a little more than I don't like healthcare companies because they're greedy.
Well, I know, but
in my opinion.
Hang on. There are some stories out there where he had a pretty significant back surgery.
Okay.
So maybe that opened his eyes. I mean, unless he starts talking and tells us his motivation, we're probably never going to truly figure it out.
I agree.
And more than likely, he'll be dead soon, just like all the other patsies. Or
are you suggesting that he might accidentally hang himself when the cameras are turned off and all the guards are on break?
Yes. Yeah. It's not like that hasn't happened already.
I don't understand what you're talking about. What?
Yeah. In New York. Yeah.
Yeah. In New York. No, oh my God. He's in New York, isn't he? Luigi, we're going to put you in this cell. Mr. Epstein himself was in this cell not long ago. Make yourself comfortable. Here's some extra sheets.
Try not to hang yourself with too much toilet paper.
Oh my God. That's terrifying.
Did you watch the Crowder when he tried to actually recreate how supposedly this guy hung himself?
Epstein?
Yeah, it's virtually.
I did not. I can only take Crowder in small doses. I'm not a big
his squeaky
fan.
voice bothers me, but yeah, he does handle stuff. I would say quite efficiently.
Yeah, his voice just kills me.
When he does the squeaky voice, that's the only part that bothers me. But nobody's perfect. It can overlook it. But yeah, you're absolutely correct. I mean, that is some crazy ass shit.
So, here's the video. Boop. Let's take a look at
Police are on the hunt for the masked gunman caught on surveillance. Police are on the hunt for the masked gunman caught on surveillance camera opening fire and killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in what's being called a brazen targeted attack.
The early morning murder unfolded.
Okay, that's not going to give us the video right now. The person in the photos who's wearing a gray hood and grinning is wanted for questioning in connection. This is before they caught him, obviously.
Uh-huh.
Right here. He's flirting
That's
with some
got him
girl
right
at
there.
Starbucks here. Now, we mentioned before that the eyebrows didn't match up, but this photo of the jacket and this photo of the jacket, these two match.
Correct.
Okay. There's another photo of the jacket where the pocket flaps are not there. And see this white mark here on his left breast pocket, close to his sternum?
And you can see it on the other picture too.
And you can see it on the other picture as well. That's not in one of the other photos. It appears to be a metal clasp or tag or some sort of brand item. Also, this disappeared very quickly. Bullet casing messages. New evidence also suggests that the gunman may have left a message behind on the bullet casings at the scene. Deny, depose, defend, written on the live rounds and casings left behind by the assassin after the shooting. Okay, if he fired rounds, Pop, is there going to be a bullet with writing left behind?
Well, typically you can engrave messages in the side of the brass, and when you fire it, it doesn't get rid of it.
Now, the round itself, the actual bullet, not the case.
Well, there were 3 unfired bullets that he had to cycle out because the weapon wasn't operating correctly. So
Okay.
I don't know exactly what was going on with that, but
So
I but the thing is, those words on the bullets or the brass was meant to convey a message.
Here's the question I have about that. Again, rich kid. I don't see him pulling some sort of Hannibal Lecter style carving brass with cryptic messages for something like this. It doesn't feel right.
Without the hatred, I would have to agree with you.
Yeah, this is something more where I would expect to find his like Fortnite account or whatever video game he's into, where he mentioned these things in the chat. I'll buy that.
Yeah.
You know, if he goes around whacking people on video games and did I depose whatever? What is it? Did I depose defend? You know, on a video game, I buy that in 2024. But I don't see him with an etching tool with a 45 slug going, this is going to be awesome.
It was a 9mm.
Okay, a 9mm, whatever.
Yeah.
You get the idea.
Yes,
Something.
Scroll down a little bit. You'll see how close he was too.
Okay.
That's no more than 7 steps.
That is less than 18 feet.
Yeah.
That's less than 18 feet. I can tell you that absolutely right now. Look at the vehicle next to him. See the vehicle next to him? Those are 21 feet. He's right there.
Yep. He just steps right out.
That's way too calm. See his jam there?
He's hitting it forward.
Yeah, he's trying to tap a forward assist.
That's typically what a veteran would do, but a veteran would not show up with a pistol that fucked up for something this big.
No. And he doesn't use a finishing shot. He just walks away.
Yep.
Typically, if that's a veteran or somebody who's familiar with weapons, you get a shot in like that, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're the shooty guy here, you're going to finish the job. You're going to walk over there and make sure you put one in the dome so that this guy is done.
One in the body, 2 in the head.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's like second nature. Like a combat veteran wouldn't even think twice. Like boom, boom, boom.
I only know this from the BDA, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
I never actually got anywhere near any of that stuff myself, but I saw plenty of the fucking footage.
But I can almost guarantee you all of those CEOs now are all wearing bulletproof vests.
Or, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Or surrounding themselves with guys who have bulletproof vests.
But if that CEO was wearing a bulletproof vest, more than likely he would have survived that attack. He'd have a severe limp, but he might have survived that attack, especially if he had his own pistol.
Yeah.
So he could turn around and engage the target.
Right. So this here is the actual timeline of the events. Let's pump this up so we can see what's going on here. Police say the gunman arrived outside the Hilton Hotel approximately 5 minutes before Thompson stood alongside the building line. This indicates an amount of knowledge. This indicates a level of knowledge.
Foreknowledge, correct.
Thompson exits his hotel at 6:44 a.m. That's early. Your typical rich kid ain't hanging around at 6:40 in the morning. Okay? They're just not.
I believe Thompson, his hotel was across the street.
He exits his hotel, crosses the street to the Hilton Hotel, and is seen walking along the sidewalk outside the building. Again, the shooter would have to have knowledge that this is that guy's pattern.
Yep.
Police believe Thompson was planning to attend the United Health Group Investors Conference happening at the hotel later in that morning. One more time, rich kids who are spoiled and used to a life of luxury aren't usually hanging around at 6:44 in the morning. They're just going to bed for the most part.
Well, and especially if they're not motivated, with that level of hatred that you need to do something like this.
Right, the Bruce Wayne syndrome.
Yes.
If you will. Undetermined time, the gunman steps onto the sidewalk from behind the car and approaches Thompson, shooting him in the back. The gunman continued walking toward Thompson and shooting. When police say the firearm appeared to have malfunctioned, he had 2 malfunctions, I think.
I believe it was 3.
3? Was it 3?
I believe they found 3 unfired pieces of ammunition on the ground.
Okay. Police responded for the 911 call, reporting that someone had shot in front of the Hilton Hotel at 6:46 a.m. That's fast.
Mm-hmm.
Look at 6:44. He exits. Undetermined time is 6:45. And this all took place in the space of about 45 seconds. We saw
120 seconds or less.
Undetermined time once on West 55th Street. The gunman continues to walk westbound and gets onto a bike. Now, was that bike opportunity or was it prepositioned? Of course, we can't know that.
Yes.
Police say the gunman was seen riding the bike into Central Park at Center Drive. If he gets that bike into Central Park, he's going to disappear, which he did, and he ended up in Pennsylvania. Officers arrive at the scene, 6:48. Found Thompson on the sidewalk in front of the hotel, gunshot wounds to his back and leg. EMS transported Thompson. Thompson was pronounced dead 24 minutes later.
Yep, which he must have hit him in one of the rounds had to have hit him close to a center line shot.
Yeah.
All right, because the center line goes right down the middle of your face, down the middle of your body. And the closer you are to that center line, the quicker you die. So, for every, 3.5 inches off of the center line, if you get medical care quick enough, you can offset your death by about 6 or 7 minutes.
There was a guy in the PI, a local, who got shot like 7 times that our medics snapped up for questioning. And he looked like he should have died, but every single bullet was offset like you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like conscious and was not happy, clearly. But not a single bullet hit a single vital anything, and they were able to patch him back together and ship him back to funny camps.
Yeah, and I was taught that, in sniper school, the center line, the closest, if you're on the center line, chances are your target is not going to survive that engagement.
Yeah.
But for every 3 inches off that center line, The time that he will survive without medical attention it's like 3 to 6 minutes, depending upon, the age and what have you.
There's a lot of variables, is my
That's a
understanding.
whole lot of variables, yeah.
A whole lot of variables. Do you know what else there's a whole lot of? Super chats.
Well, let's just do like 5 more minutes, and then we'll hit the super chats.
Okay. I think Jimmy's at home.
We're on a roll here. And people, come here to get the actual chatter.
Yeah. No, yeah, I hear you. Let's see here. The long-rumored manifesto authored by the suspect in the UHC Brian Thompson thing has leaked. And again, that this has leaked is a big red flag in and of itself.
Correct.
None of the other manifestos leaked like that. The one for the tranny shooter in Ohio, I got to be careful what I say there. The one for they had to go to court to get it, and it took them forever. And then they only begrudgingly released it, but it was released so late after the fact that it had lost its effect, because the public is basically a goldfish in a goldfish bowl and has the attention span of a gnat.
I would have to agree with you, yes.
Gateway Pundit previously reported Thompson was shot, blah, blah, blah. But police authorities also discovered Mangione wrote a manifesto confessing to the murder and railing against America's health industry. I believe that section that I read at the beginning of the night is probably not the entire manifesto. While numerous individuals before have claimed to have seen the reported document from the suspect, these turned out to be false reports. But liberal reporter Ken Klippenstein, yay name, has now leaked. Ken Klippenstein, you got screwed with a lot when you were young.
Yeah.
Has now leaked an actual copy of the manifesto. Klippenstein says multiple corporate media outlets also possess the document but have refused to publish it. There it is. Law enforcement sources have confirmed the authenticity of the manifesto. The words in the document align perfectly with previous reporting. In his manifesto, here we go. Here's the meaty bits. Mangione admits he is responsible for Thompson's death and that he acted alone, and he apologizes for any strife or traumas, but it had to be done. These parasites had it coming. Okay. Gateway Pundit reported that his admissions to the crime and these phrases appeared in the manifesto. Mangione then rails against the healthcare industry. That's the part we didn't have. What the hell is wrong with me? Knock it off. Mangione then rails against the healthcare industry, focusing primarily on United Healthcare. His rant reads like a Bernie Sanders speech on the Senate floor.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I've got a jammed up sinus, which is what's causing me to malfunction over here. This, too, is consistent with the reporting from TGP and other outlets. The manifesto clocks in at a total of 261 words. The New York Times reported that the manifesto was roughly 262 words long. That is the most useless piece of information I have ever seen in a news article in my entire life. Per Klippenstein, below is the Mangione's full manifesto. It is what we saw there, and it's very, very short.
Very suspicious.
Yeah. Obviously, the problem is more complex, but I do not have space, and frankly, I do not pretend to be the most qualified person to lay out the full argument. But many have illuminated the corruption and greed. I want to know who Rosenthal and Moore are. Decades ago, and the problems simply remain. It is not an issue of awareness at this point, but clearly power games at play. Evidently, I am the first to face it with such brutal honesty. So,
yeah, and like I've mentioned before with the whole 7-layer burrito of hopelessness, if the government doesn't get on top of this, this is the kind of shit that motivates insurrections, rebellions, you name it.
Or just crazy people.
Yeah. Well,
or just some wacko who goes, I can do that.
But the thing is, if you have millions of people out there who are literally have nothing left to lose, it will not take long before this is happening all the time.
110% agree.
And then they'll organize, and then it's going to be a big problem.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
once the government has been very good at keeping people from organizing, to be completely honest.
Mhm.
It's alarming, but it cannot continue. The law of averages says that they won't be able to do that 100% of the time. See, I've only had a single beer in the 2 hours that we've been sitting here. It's my sinus that's jacked up that's making me keep yawning, and I'm going to make excuses like the little bitch that I am right now.
Actually, it's your dwarfabetes.
It's my dwarfabetes. That's fair. That's fair. I'll take that one.
All right.
I'm going to need to get a screen cap of your face so I can put it on Wilford Brimley's face.
Oh,
We're
no.
We're going to put that on a shirt. Dwarfabetus.
That's some good shit.
Oh, God. All right. Now, super chats.
All right. Yeah, let's get to super
We
chat.
went through the articles. We made it through all of the articles for the first time in many episodes.
That's a first.
Mm.
All right. We'll start over here on the YouTube side. We got 656 viewers and 329 likes.
That's okay. We're at 50%.
That's not
Okay.
bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since Dwarfabetus says it's okay, we'll let it slide. And first one here from Blue Eyes White Dragon. Nice name. That's a throwback. For 1999, says, really? Schwartz like Spaceballs?
I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
May the Schwartz be with you.
We have action figures.
Spaceballs the flamethrower.
We'd pop action figures. Like the old 12-inch G.I. Joes, though, with Kung Fu grip.
Kung Fu grip.
And then Pop's action figure definitely comes with a pint of mint chocolate chip and some Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
That's true.
I remember getting yelled at by my mother because I had taken my G.I. Joes to the Kung Fu grip and then went into my sister's room and put them on her Barbie doll tits.
Yeah.
And my mom came in like, what are you doing? I'm like,
yeah,
just playing around. Don't do that.
I have similar stories.
Yeah.
There you go. Next one here, we got Count Chad the Impaler, $5, says, if people can't get justice in court, they'll get justice in the streets.
Yes, they will.
Won't lose sleep over that CEO playing a stupid game, winning a stupid prize.
There you go.
Yep.
I don't know.
Next one here, we got Benny D over $10 says, the PBD podcast did a breakdown. The health insurance company was turning down claims at 32%, twice the rate of second place at 16%. They were getting investigated by the feds, followed by insider trading, etc.
So I'm going to tell you this about the insurance companies. They deny 95% of claims. And that's where all the litigation comes in. Most of the insurance companies that I deal with, Farmers, I deal with Progressive, I deal with Cure Auto. The list is fairly extensive. Progressive is one of the worst. State Farm and Allstate are right after those. They deny probably 95% of claims, straight up.
Yep. See, next one here, we got the Plains Warrior with $5. Says the House just released a 500-page report that basically said all of the Koof conspiracy theorists were right.
Yep.
We know.
Shocker.
We've known the whole time.
Let's see. We got Akimoto Akira for $1.99 says, what about farm head med shortages? Gonna be wild.
What do you mean head med shortages?
If they deliberately short the supply of head meds, you could have a lot of people breaking down with some very colorful results.
Yeah, and you need to wean off that shit. You just can't stop at cold turkey. It will fuck you up.
Yep. Let's see. Next one here, got L Snows here with $5 says, Pop and Battledorf, what are your thoughts on Israel's invasion of Syria? Things are getting dicey over there.
That is a whole show.
It's a whole show. Yeah. Like I've said before, I have nothing against Islam and I have nothing against the Jewish community. I'm just sick and tired of giving them money.
And blood.
Yeah. I don't want to send any more Americans over there to die for those sons of bitches. They
Yep.
can fight their own fucking battles. And they can buy their own goddamn weapons, and we have to stop giving them shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have a beef with you, but I don't want to participate in your beefs.
That's right.
I don't have a beef with you, but I'm tired of paying the tab.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
Let's see. And Mustanger65, last one here on YouTube, $20. No comment there. Thank you there, good sir.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right. And it actually looks like the Rumble kept up with me here tonight.
All right.
First one comes from, on my end at least, we'll have to do some scrolling up there, Pop, if you could. Comes from Deus Ex Machina Prime at $50. He's wishing us a Merry Christmas.
Ooh,
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas.
And I think
Yeah,
instead
there
of...
are several above that. Would you like me to read those?
Yes, if you could, please.
I will then. Knote72 comes in at $10, says, missed last week's stream, so I'm making up for missed chats. Some dingus dropped an alternator in the road in front of me, and it put a hole in my car's oil pan.
Damn.
Oh, shit.
Spent the week swapping in a new one myself. Big Town Mando throws $2 at us and says, Dwarf, how does a communist camel deal with problems? Bolshevik spit.
Oh,
I'm
God.
not sure what you mean there, but I gather that you were just trying to get me to say the word Bolshevik. So
you
there.
Drink.
Yeah. Alucard throws $2 at us and says, the dog man called. She wants you to hit it, Jimmy. Sing and Pop. She misses you.
Oh, we want Sing and Pop, huh? All right, where is he at?
Oh, Jesus.
Here he is.
I will never forget the first time that I saw that. So uncannily fitting.
My buddy Pete fell off the toilet.
MX Stilgar throws $1 our way and says healthcare is the biggest scam. I saw a post years ago of a 2-day hospital stay for a mother to deliver a baby from 1948. Total bill was $84. St. Margaret's Hospital in Boston. Look it up. Don't have to. I believe you.
Yep.
Big Town Mando throws $2 out there and says, did the shooter have a brother named Mario who works as a plumber, hates turtles and mushrooms, and simps over an inept blonde? I still want the Chuck Mangione trumpet solo. Suze McCarley throws us $5 and says, thanks for the damn earworm, Dwarfabetus. Thanks a lot. The Chuck Mangione reference stuck. I got somebody.
Earworm.
I sell cat litter for $20, says Mitch McConnell fell on the House floor today and is currently in the hospital. He is currently running for another term. That needs to come to an end.
That needs to come to an end.
The turtle needs to die. He is a rampant kiddie toucher, and I bear him no love. I hope his oxygen supply depletes. Tomahawk throws us $5 and says, can we please enjoy Nancy's shapely figure one last time before she goes to prison?
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Now, this is what I'm going to say about that. I hope to God Trump doesn't do the same shit he did for his first term and try to play nice.
Yeah.
He needs to literally, on January 20th, just go fucking berserk and start firing people hand over fucking fist. Period.
Yep. Well, that's why the entire Biden administration is saying, "Oh, well, we need to just blanket pardon everybody."
You can't blanket pardon people.
I mean, if they didn't break the law or commit a crime, why
You can't
pardon
pardon
them? Exactly.
He's not a
Yeah.
fucking king.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right,
That
sorry,
is-
I'm going to start getting worked up if we keep going down there.
I know. This one comes hot on the heels of you losing failure to talk. You using lube on camera. Count Chad the Impaler throws $1 at us and says, "Dwarf." That implies you've seen Pop use lube off camera. I'm awarding 1 homo suspicion point. That's fair.
You are fined 1 homo suspicion point for violation of the Man Code Morality Statute.
Yeah, at least we're fair here. At least we're fair.
That's a fair assessment. I'll take it. That brings us up to speed, Jimmy.
All right, we are all up to speed. And instead of doing the we're not worthy for each and every one, I'm just going to give one we're not worthy for the entire chats and whatnot, because it kind of gets a little old and whatnot. Let's see, Deus Machina Prime for $50, wishing us a Merry Christmas. Thank you, good sir. Steel Wolf 180 says, for $100, subscriber from Singapore. I sub due to your military stories. Since I started work as a team leader in tech last week, I think I can donate this to keep your work going. First in, last out, Reki.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you. And again, I'm going to do one we're not worthy at the end of the super chats, just so that we're not having to click the button every now and then. And I'm pretty sure people are kind of getting old about it. But Alucard coming in, he's got a request. That's one of our favorites, though. One that lives deep in our cold, black, dead hearts.
Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square. Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square. Stop!
God. Hey, you missed a couple after Deus Ex Machina Prime's 50 Merry Christmas. There.
Not
All right.
on my end. You'll have to grab those.
Okay. N2 Gas throws us $1 and says, "Why do I hear cat noises streaming in the audio?" That is the aforementioned husky that never shuts up. Big Town Mando throws $2 at us and says, Tomas Jane's Punisher movie showed similar to what Dwarf was saying about working up the ranks using the mob. Yes, that is correct. Single for Life chucks $1 at us and says, "Pops, have you heard about the small car-sized drones flying over New Jersey near the bases? That turned out to be hysteria and actual helicopters sent to investigate the smaller drones which were actually there."
Yes.
And two guests, there's another $1 at us and says, "Pictures of the gun. It's most likely a PSA Dagger 80% frame," which catches us back up to where we just were.
Alrighty. Again, apologize, ladies and gentlemen. There, the Rumble chat, it's kind of finicky on my end since I got to come in late. So apologies for that. Let's see. Tomahawk here with $10 says, "How much longer do you think it will be before the jabbed wake up en masse and absolutely lose their shit?"
Once that information gets released, it's going to go nuclear. Especially if they're like, "No, you can't sue them." It's going to be on like Donkey Kong. Man.
Okay, then we'll come to your home.
Yeah.
Historically speaking, that's what happens.
Well, that and people are still losing their shit. I mean, you got the Taylor Lorenz, old Tay-Tay. She's still pissed off at people, quote unquote, raw dogging the air.
Yeah.
Who is that individual anyway? I have no idea who she is, and I keep seeing her referenced.
She was I can't remember what news outlet she worked for, but they got rid of her because of her. They don't say it was because of her statements of recent events, but Taylor Lorenz was the famous person that doxed and harassed libs of TikTok.
Mm-hmm. So she was basically being a gunch.
So she's a nobody that is still a nobody. Okay.
Yep.
I'm tracking.
Yeah. All right. And we got N2 Gas here coming in with $1, says, Another flag dwarf. The gait of the walking of of people with ASD. Look at his body language.
Oh yeah, you're right. I didn't catch that, and you're correct. The way that Mangione was walking when they perp walked him. I won't go back to the video and run it all over again, but he's not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The way he was walking, also indicated some spectrum issues.
Also, he had back surgery, so that could have something to do with it too.
That's possible. That's yeah, of course, that's possible.
Let's see.
Carry on.
There we go. Coming in back. Nana Moose here with $5. I got confirmation that my best friend died from a heart attack last week. Fuck. Sorry to hear
At what
that.
age?
Doesn't say, but definitely vaxxed at least 3 or 4 times thanks to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police mandates.
Wow.
Dudley Do Right would be very Dudley disappointed.
Till Valhalla, man. Sorry.
The Royal Canadian Kilted Yaxman. Motherfuckers. Wow.
Nice reference there, Dwarf.
Thank you. Caught that, did you?
I did.
Our yaks are very large, and they're eating rotting beef carcasses. Anyway.
There you go. MGTOW Mando coming back again and says $2 says the Battle of Athens would be another good one.
I know that story inside and out. We will do that.
Well, we can do the Battle of Athens, and then we can do like the actual gunfight between the unions and the coal companies that took place around the same time.
Okay.
Write that down, because I won't remember it.
Write that down. Write that down.
Forget.
Let's see. And damn it. MGTOW Mando. We already did this, but well, he's my boy. He's my friend. I got to do it. He says, Jimmy, give Papa Pelosi.
God damn it.
Well, we'll go.
We have other Pelosi's, don't we?
We've got one other one that's even more disturbing.
Bent the whole world over and says thank you very much.
Give it to me, daddy. That's what she keeps screaming. Give it to me, daddy.
Oh. God damn, that's horrible.
I'm gonna have another. Have another sit down meeting with my night terror demon Kevin tonight. Thanks.
God.
You got that evil, huh?
Yeah. Let's see. We got M. Tyler 11 here with $10. Says Eisenhower was right beside MacArthur in mowing down the bonus army in D.C.
Interesting. Correct. Eisenhower also has a DA photo of him wearing stockings and crossing his legs like a man does not do. Anyway, carry on.
Rule Man Life worth $5. Example of a loved one's revenge case. A sheriff murdering a Kentucky judge in a courthouse in September. Yep, I remember that. He unloaded his clip magazine. Sorry to be nitpicky.
No, I was about to do the same thing.
Yep. Into this judge. Why judge had relations with sheriff's minor daughter. There's also been other allegations of the judge running his chambers as a
brothel,
sexploitations. You know, you do a mouth hug with a couple bobs and you get a couple favors.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some fucked up shit.
Pretty fucked up.
It's a perfect example of what Pop's talking about, though. If you can't get court justice, people are going to start doing that.
Yeah.
And there's an example of what I was mentioning where somebody who actually knows what he's doing walked in there and did that.
Yep. Let's see. And 2 guests here with $1 says he dumped his bag with the play money in Central Park. Okay, so what the hell was he using to carry the gun, fake ID, and Manifesto?
I mean, it's possible you can have multiple packs. But typically, if you're going to do shit like that, you can leave absolutely nothing behind. Not even brass. You should have a brass catcher or use a revolver.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Sorry, this next one from MGTOW Mando. He's always got to come up with the jokes. For $2 says, "Okay, guys, show the shooter some sympathy. He blew his load before seeing a cute chick to flirt with."
Yeah, he basically screwed himself by showing his face to a chick. And from what I've been reading in the news, he couldn't even have boned her because of his back surgery is screwing him up from like the belly button down.
His bad bones really boned him on that one.
Yep.
Let's see. MX Stilgar, Jerry Conway here. Good to see you there, good sir. It says, Pop, you mentioned one man in intelligence putting together a group of his own people to carry out a mission. That made me think of The Rock from 1996 with Ed Harris, who did exactly that.
It's pretty much accurate.
Yeah, it could easily be done. It's not that hard. And the information is out there on the internet. You could train yourself. So
I mentioned Enemy of the State earlier. Remember that?
Yep.
Gene Hackman's character with the Faraday cage in his garage and all that stuff. That's my MOS. That's why I know that NSA doesn't have all of those fucking cameras and shit. They're literally portraying my MOS specifically in that movie. That was, and we went there. We were in the schoolhouse when that came out. We all went to watch that, and that became like a cult comedy for our MOS.
I know, but the thing is like the street cameras that are hooked up to the PDs easily could be hooked up to other alphabet agencies without any lengthy processes and what have you. Personal camera.
No, I agree. I'm just saying that it's not NSA. That's all I'm saying is it's not NSA. Anyway.
All right, sorry.
Moving on. See, LB Weaver with $4 says, how about this? Maybe he faked or staged his death.
No.
Sorry, but not.
No. That dude, he's gone.
Anything's possible. But Mando coming back says, Dwarf, do push-ups or overhead claps. Pop, call the cadence.
What's for yawning?
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, stand at the back of the room, do overhead claps.
In cadence, exercise. Hey.
No.
I can't. I did that so many times.
Oh my God. You're standing, you're just falling out. Then stand up, go to the back of the room. Yeah.
When I was in RIP, they had to hold a cinder block over your head.
Oh, hey.
Even better. Let's see. You've got N2 Gas coming back, says we need to have Billy Von Baum make an AI video of George Carlin in 2024, more or less screaming, "I fucking told ya."
Yeah.
It's not. Yep, there you go. Yep. International House of Whoop Ass here with $1 says Dwarfalamapus. See, Western Citizen dropping $3. He's saying he's here. Good to see you there.
There we go.
All righty. And looks like Rumble is doing some duplications on me. Let me keep scrolling by.
Professor Blake asked.
Yep, I just
got it.
Yep, just got to there. It says, "Do you think the actual assassin got away and he used this Italian guy as a fall guy?"
Well, it all depends if the ballistics on the pistol match. I would say no.
Shooter did not have gloves, so there's a paraffin test there too.
Yeah, but it's been a few days, so that's probably not going to work.
They probably did that right away.
Yeah, you got to do that right away.
Yep. See, Cliff3188 coming in with $2 says, Battle Dwarf, that 95% rejection rate is because insurance companies like UHC are using an AI algorithm that has a 90% error rate that hasn't been corrected and was only made known due to a 2023 lawsuit.
Yeah, here's the thing with
interesting, because I've been
AI.
For a minute.
You listen, when you have to deal with human beings, you should have another human being making decisions. It should not be an AI in any way, shape, or form.
I can say that I have not seen any AI decision-making processes at the individual level. This might be at a higher level, like a corporate level or something like that. But at the individual level, I haven't seen anything like that because I go back and forth with attorneys all day on the defense. saying, no, I'm going to deny your claim. Well, why? Because of this. Okay, here's this evidence. All right, but then there's this thing over here and this clause here. And there's the discussion that goes on. This isn't just you don't get a piece of paper that says deny, signed Robbie the Robot. Anyway.
Could be.
Carry on.
All righty. Let's see. I got word that Billy Von Baum has a meme for us. We'll get to that here in a little bit. Let's see. Raging Sailor here with $2 says, "Hey, Pop, you can laugh at me. I went out on Saturday with a nice-looking chick. She kind of looked like the sister of a guy I knew in high school.
Oh, no.
Fuck my life. It was that dude before all the surgeries. Oh, God.
Oh, my God. Dude, that's fucked up. I hope that's not a true story. Dude, that's fucked up.
Wow.
Oh,
dude looks like a lady. Oh.
Wow.
Mrs. Doubtfire has entered the chat.
Ooh.
Single for life. I've been slacking. You just remind me. I need to get the dog walker video into the brand. That's a Captain's Computer exclusive. I need to get that on there. I will be sure to get that there, just so that we got it.
So it's a video that is not in our catalog right now.
Not as of yet. I don't believe so. I'll need to
put it in there.
I'll need to find it and get it in there. I will be sure to get that in there before next one.
Yep.
See, Raging Sailor coming back. He says, "Thankfully, I found out while at first base, seeing all the scars and the fake titties. Fuck my life. I got honey dicked by a tranny."
Oh! Don't admit that shit on the air, man.
Hey, you know what? At least he's man enough to admit it.
That's some skeleton closet shit right there.
That's
nightmare fuel for days.
I will. I'm pretty sure my Night Terror Demon Kevin knows somebody that knows somebody. They'll come pay you a visit and they'll get you through that, brother.
Yeah.
Let's see. Count Chad the Impaler. He's got a joke for us. What do you call a nanny with breast implants? A faux pair.
Wow.
Raging Sailor coming back in says, basically the shooter is an insurance adjuster.
Yeah.
I
got nothing.
Nothing? He's not wrong.
No.
You're not wrong there. Not wrong there. All righty. That looks like that cleans up all of the Rumble Super Chats. We did have a few more coming over on the YouTube side.
I was about to say YouTube has a few more. Yeah.
Yep. Got Brock Sampson 71 with $5 says, "Glad I caught your live stream. Here's a little appreciation from Brock."
Well,
thank you
very much.
Thank you, good sir. G Ski coming in with $5 says, "There's recognition software for walk or gait. It's supposedly more foolproof than facial recognition. Connect the dots."
Interesting. None of that stuff existed when I was in Intel. Zero of this digital stuff existed when I was in. I was all analog.
There you go. Now we got Mazatazel with $5. Says, "Do not have anything to say. Just wanted a super chat of my own."
You have your very own super chat. There it is.
Thank you.
There you go. There is your super chat. All right. Make sure nothing else squeaked in on the Rumble side. Doesn't look like it. Yep.
And as you said that,
as soon as I say it, got a Murray Saw 19D. $5 says, "There was a Boise police chief who was arrested for soliciting minors. I personally saw him enter the prison. That story doesn't exist anymore."
Nice.
Shocker. Oh God. And of course, Alucard coming in with another request.
Alucard every time.
Let's see. One of three, one of three, one of four, one of four. This one.
God, I hate that one. God damn it.
It's terrible, man. Terrible. You guys are assholes. Never change.
Wow.
All righty, let's see. We'll jump over here to the MGTOW side. We got a couple there. Let's see, from Crazy Uncle. This one I can answer before reading this out. MGTOW's been having some issues, some hiccups and whatnot. He says, testing 1, 2, 3. Jimmy, are you getting these? You have not read the ones I've sent before, so I'm checking to see if you're getting them. We got this one tonight there, good sir.
Yep.
Let's see. And Iron Riddle, $5 says, lost my job, damn it. Found a new job, 45% pay cut. Winning? Yes and no. I had to sell my Harley motorcycle to buy food. Sometimes I wish I wouldn't wake up in the morning, but I am a man, a woman, and women and children will die without me. Life is hard. Nobody owes you shit. If I could go back to 1998 when I was active duty, I would hunt down Pop and become friends.
Oh, cool.
Hell
Good
yeah,
on you, man.
Good on you. Good on you. All right. And jumping over to the Odyssey side here, we got one over there from Just Grifting and Gaming for $2.23. 223. Nice number. Says Civil War over or under 10 years.
It all depends upon what happens in the next 24 months.
Yeah, to be completely honest.
Yep.
I agree.
Yep. Let's see. Sean St. George over here on YouTube, $2. Bolshevik. Drink.
What did you say? Bolshevik?
Drink. God damn it. I just finished my
You
beer.
asked for it.
All right.
I'll be sure to go grab another beer here in a little bit. Let's see here.
Yep, going on.
All right. Had a couple more jump in on the Rumble side. Mando
Yes.
coming back says, Jimmy, can you close us out with Pop's action on the cruise?
Oh, God.
I think I can do that.
I hate that one. Some green screen abuse, man.
There you go. And two gas here coming back. Excuse me. Says, Pop, I use a thumb as a stand-in for the brown paper bag for the gross video clips. Good idea.
Like Hillary or Nancy.
Yeah. And
so what he's saying is he would put a paper bag over Hillary's head and do her anyway.
Look.
I'm not putting words in the man's mouth, but well, sounds like that's what he does.
That's nasty.
That's the Tantalum 180 here for $5. He's got a good idea. Says we need a Pop ass chewing clip for those masochistic bastards requesting Hillary and Pelosi deep fakes.
God damn it. Yeah.
I apparently did not say Bolshevik anywhere near enough tonight.
Apparently not. And Broken Pine 284 is saying Bolshevik.
I know. That's what I'm talking about.
God damn it. Let's see.
All
righty.
Duly noted. Duly noted, gentlemen.
Okay, that looks like we are all caught up there, but
did you get the cash apps?
We'll get to the cash apps, but for now, we got to get to the Dwarfabetus.
What do I do now?
This is from Billy Von Baum. Here is his
Uh-oh.
meme.
All right, it's not bad.
Come on, I didn't see enough Wilford Brimley in there.
Yep.
A little bit.
I can say this now because I guarantee you this son of a bitch is dead. The only time I ever knowingly worked with fucking Christians in action, the guy they sent looked like fucking Wilford Brimley.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And he identified himself as State Department with the State Department. And he handed over some papers to our warrant officer, and our warrant officer let him look at some shit, and then basically he did his stuff for like a day and then left.
That's typically how it goes.
Yeah. Anyway, he looked like Wilford Brimley.
Successful Endeavors has gifted me with some screenshots.
Ruh-roh.
I will put those to good use when I have the time. But we're going to jump over to the cash apps here. We got a couple.
Make sure you use a fresh sock, Jimmy.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
I'll be sure to go buy a new pack this weekend. Let's see. First cash app comes from Crunch Muncher with $25. Says, "Have a good evening, gents."
Rah.
We always do. We always do. And we got John dropping $10. Says, "For pistol suppressors have a booster assembly."
Yep.
Yep.
I knew that.
Yep. And we got HKC with $2.23. Says, "For a great show, thank you very much." Thank you, good sir. Thank you.
We do what we can, man.
Yep. And Alex Patino here with $10 says, "For beer money and cheers."
We'll take it. Thank you very much.
And nope. Here you go, Billy. If you're still in the YouTube chat, Alex comes back with $5. Says, "Billy Von Baum, we need a homo confirmed video."
Oh, ruh-roh.
That's bad.
That would be very bad.
Well, I don't think we've had a homo confirmed incident on the show that I am aware of.
Let's hope not.
Let's hope not. Let's see. Jumping back to the YouTube side guy, King Cobra JFS with $20 says, "What happened to the church bell after he got cut off from sex? His girlfriend said, 'You better put a ring on it, mister.'"
Grown.
You need to watch my comedy video called String Along Methods, and you can handle it effectively that way.
There you go. And International House of Whoop Ass back on the Rumble side for $1 says, "Bullshit trophy."
Nice.
There you go. And Ellie Card coming back says, "I'm an asshole, so there."
That's true.
He spelled it though the possessive.
I know. I saw that, and it's grammatically painful for me. Pop wouldn't know the difference.
No.
You should try depopping a novel sometime.
Sounds like a fun time, but
finished the whiteness in my beard.
Nice.
There you go. That llooks like that does cover all the super chats. And again, I did promise everybody you guys are not we are not worthy. I can't even fucking talk. God damn it, Dwarf, you're rubbing off on me. Phrasing.
You're gonna have to rub it off yourself, Jimmy.
Moving on. We owe you guys, we owe you all, viewers and super chatters, and we're not worthy, so here you go.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But yeah, man, the phrasing thing, that's hilarious.
I think I need to find a good phrasing clip to add to the lineup here as well. But anyways, we're going a little bit over time. So Todd and I, right now, Pop, you know what time it is?
Safety briefing. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink and swim. It never works out. If you absolutely need to fornicate, wear a condom. Take it with you and flush it down the toilet. Watch it go all the way down because latex will save your paychecks. Rack up, pack up, and stack up. There's safety in numbers, and maintain your situational awareness. Because if you're going to be attacked, something in your environment will have changed, and it's up to you to see it. Last but not least, I am sick and tired of throwing you guys into the dirt over some stupid-ass bullshit. Stop taking the permanent solution to a temporary problem. Stay in the fight, play the long game, and if everything else fails, live out of fucking spite, because you have no idea what tomorrow holds for you. Boom, beer me.
There you go. And Mr. Dwarfabetus. Final words for tonight.
Dwarfabetus. There were a couple of people who asked in the chats about what I thought about gate recognition and that kind of thing. Again, I was analog. The first crypto systems I worked on, we actually used a strip of paper to encode devices. So,
yeah,
there's that.
It's archaic.
It was archaic.
There you go. All righty. I was just told this little bit of information to check the email again.
Okay.
Billy Von Baum has a clip for us.
Rutro.
Can we show it on the?
We can show it.
All right.
There you go.
Yes!
All right.
Billy, you are a master of your craft.
Oh God, Jimmy said that to me. It's funny.
That's funnier than shit. I will be sure to forward that to you guys. And again, you all know my my little spiel for the end of the night. Redonkulas.com. Go get yourself a shirt. All sorts of good swag. Hey man, might even have to get a Partying Guardian. Get you one of those when you
Oh, the Partying Guardian shirts, yeah.
Partying Guardian shirt. Whenever you know your buddies want to go out to the bar or the bar, and you need to make sure that you're watching everybody's six, so they don't get bent over and take it up the six.
Yikes, Jimmy! Yikes!
Or if they happen to find a very attractive lady and they happen to go outside of the alley and visit the dumb dumpster. Bad times.
Yeah, not a good. That's not a
That's
good.
what you need your Partying Guardian for. Partying Guardians are not available for grenade duty.
No.
Correct.
Partying Guardians are for keeping your ass out of jail, keeping your ass out of some really nasty wizard sleeve snatch,
And keeping things out of your ass.
And keeping things out of your ass.
Wizard sleeve snatch. Fucking brutal.
There you go. And I almost forgot. The Gilded does know. If you guys watch the Ride and Roast, Blake put himself in a questionable situation, and he mentioned, "I hope someone doesn't mean this." I memed it. So
I think I watched that Ride and Roast. Yeah.
There you go. But as always, ladies and gentlemen, keep your powder dry and the cootie juices off your dishes, because that's just nasty. See you in the next one.
Take it easy.
I can't do it! I can't!